Welcome to the MPP Hoot, where we give you a recap of last week's news on everything education. In Wales, students at a primary school created an app in an effort to boost student happiness and health. In September of 2021, students recognized the need to focus on health and well-being. The students initially developed the app after seeing the challenges COVID-19 brought in regards to student well-being, specifically after long periods of learning from home. Students from Year 5 and 6 created the content themselves. They filmed videos, made executive decisions about design, created written content, and used augmented reality with help from a company called Value Added Education. This app, My Health, includes mindfulness music, healthy recipes, and features the school dog, Max, plus more. The app helps children improve their health and well-being and ultimately motivates them to look after themselves. Head teacher Darren Thomas recognizes that for this school, well-being is always a priority. He said, "If the fundamentals of well-being are not in place, nothing else comes after it." Ever since COVID-19 reared its head, the school has been intentionally planning activities geared toward helping students maintain their mental health. One specific development has been bringing the well-being dog, Max, into school every day. Max comes to some lessons, plays in the yard, and is a featured presence in counseling sessions. Last Tuesday, students across Minneapolis returned to school after the 3-week strike over low pay, inadequate diversity across teachers, large class sizes, and challenges surrounding student mental health. This strike resulted in almost 30,000 students out of classrooms for 2 weeks. Minnesota Federation of Teachers President Greta Callahan has described the strike as a step in the right direction, but acknowledges that it's not enough. In light of this strike, the Minneapolis Federation of Teachers signed a new contract agreement and return to work plan. This contract raises the pay for education support professionals, includes a 2% base pay raise for this year, and a 3% raise for 2023. In addition, the agreement caps class sizes and offers teachers layoff protections for recently hired educators of color. To make up for learning loss and lost school time, the school year was extended from June 10th to June 24th. Plus, starting April 11th, the school day will be 42 minutes longer than it was originally. As this specific labor dispute comes to an end, other school districts throughout the country are facing disruptions due to staffing shortages and pandemic challenges. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona has been calling on states, school districts, and colleges to use funding from the American Rescue Plan to prevent teacher resignations, attract and hire new staff, and provide bonuses. Last Monday, a former Yale administrator, Jamie Patrone, pleaded guilty to fraud and tax offense. For almost a decade, Patrone had been stealing money from Yale University's School of Medicine. As a director of finance and administration for Yale's Department of Emergency Medicine, Patrone could authorize purchases for the department as long as they were under $10,000. The scheme began in 2013 and continued into 2021 while Jamie remained in her position. Using Yale School of Medicine's money, Patrone would order computers and electronics herself or have a staff member do so. She would then report to the school that the equipment was for specific needs that didn't actually exist. She broke up the purchases into several which were under $10,000 each, so she wouldn't need additional approval from the school. She then shipped the stolen hardware to a third-party business in New York, which would resell the electronics. Patrone received the money through wiring funds into the account of a company she made up. Receiving this money enabled Patrone to live in luxury. For instance, she could invest in real estate, travel, and purchase luxury cars, according to prosecutors. The scheme continued until August of 2021, when Yale officials received an anonymous tip stating that Patrone was ordering suspicious amounts of computer equipment and putting some of the packages into her car. In pleading guilty, Patrone agreed to give up her luxury vehicles, 3 homes in Connecticut, and potentially a property in Georgia. She has also agreed to relinquish more than $560,000 that was seized from the made-up company's bank account. According to federal prosecutors, the loss to Yale was roughly $40,504,200. Patron's sentence is in June, and she faces up to 30 years in prison. Last Thursday, Congress Democrats sent a letter to President Joe Biden calling on him to extend the pause on federal student loan payments until at least the end of the year. The letter, which was signed by 8 Democrats, urged Biden to push back the start date for students to begin repaying their debt. As it stands, student loan repayments are anticipated to start up again on May 1st. Since 2020, they were postponed due to the pandemic. This pause put a hold on loan repayments, applied a 0% interest rate to remaining balances, and stopped collections on defaulted loans. As a result, borrowers have been able to pay down other debt, be in better financial standings, and support their families. If the repayment is restarted, many borrowers will face economic hardship for themselves and their families. On average, this pause saved families around $400 per month. Currently, most borrowers aren't financially secure enough to begin making repayments in May. Currently, more than 40 million people have student loans, and this translates to a total of $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. For over 20 years now, 4.4 million borrowers have been making repayments. When running for office, President Joe Biden stated that his administration would cancel $10,000 of student loan debt per borrower, but he has not carried out this promise yet. A recent UK study shows that teenage social media use may be linked to less life satisfaction. Researchers propose that this may be the result of a combination of being vulnerable to social media during these years and the hormonal and social changes taking place during adolescent development. Still, more data is needed to fully understand the relationship. Researchers assert that social media companies should share their own data to allow scientists to make more concrete connections. The survey looked at more than 72,000 individuals who reported their life satisfaction and social media habits. Between 2011 and 2018, researchers surveyed the participants up to 7 times. Overall, they found that young adolescents had the most negative relationships between social media use and life satisfaction. Other findings included that 16 to 21-year-olds who said they had either no or very high social media use reported lower life satisfaction than those who used up to 3 hours per day. Participants younger than 16 showed life satisfaction declining more with greater social media use. According to the researchers, this study cannot predict which specific individuals are most at risk. It may depend on many factors, and they noted that for some, social media can have an overall positive impact. Since the study only covers data up to 2018, it's crucial to take more steps to determine how the relationship between social media use and life satisfaction has changed, particularly through the tumultuous last 2 years of a global pandemic. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode.